tonight's entertainment. I only have one question.
Tell me the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek in a sentence.
One has green lasers and one has red lasers.
You make me sick.
Star Wars is the biggest thing in nerd culture right now.
Let's go Star Trek.
It's time for the nerdiest show on the internet.
I know. I checked online.
I'm not sure if anybody has some words to describe the legend that is Kevin Lewis at this time.
A piece of human garbage.
Leave your stupid comments in your pocket.
You're listening to Boyz to Nerdz. And now, here's your host, Kevin Lewis.
Welcome to the January 2016 Boyz to Nerdz episode. It's been a long time since I've seen all of your semi-okay looking faces. How is everybody doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Calvin.
All right, well, we have our typical panel. We have Mr. Brian with us. We have Mr. Gerald with us. We, of course, have our expert producer, Steve Hollings.
Heyo.
Now, we also have a guest nerd, if you will.
Oh.
I do want to mention that our good pal Mark is not here today, but we found a suitable replacement, I think. We'll see how he does. We'll talk about him in just a minute, but today I want to go over what we are going to discuss today. Now, the big thing, it's coming out soon. We're almost in February. Can you believe that we're almost in February? It's freaking cold. It's finally decided to snow. But anyway, Deadpool's coming out. We have that coming out on February 12th. So we're going to go over different things like that, the marketing, everything. We're going to talk about One Punch Man. Does anybody know who One Punch Man is? Well, you will. And, of course, we're going to go over my punishment. I've lost numerous amounts of games that we've played, challenges. So we'll decide that. We have a new game as a recurring theme, and
Sure do.
we have some recommendations for you.
Yep.
And, of course, the last thing we're introducing is a anime segment. Now, we want to make sure we are touching on all of our nerd market. So we were going to be, delving, is that the word, diving? Developing into different branches of nerds and not just talks about movies. So with that being said, let me turn it over to you, Mr. Kyle. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, how nerdy you are, and what makes you nerdy?
Well, like you said, my name is Kyle, and I'm the guest nerd for today's show.
Welcome.
And I guess you would say that I am a niche nerd, and it all started reading the fantasy novels of my youth, which would have been, the Harry Potter, the Lord of the Rings. And I'm a self-proclaimed Harry Potter nerd.
I also like
expert.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So
we're not going to be talking about Harry Potter, so...
we could. This is my show. It could very well happen.
I wrote an introduction that basically, hyped me up as like the Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and the King of the blah, blah, blah. Lord of the Rings.
Game of Thrones
reference,
yeah.
but... we'll skip that.
Well, I'm ecstatic.
I wrote this great thing about who I am, but you know what? We're just not going to do that.
Yeah, we're just going to jump right over. I'm ecstatic to have Kyle here. Again, Mark's not going to be joining us, but we'll make do. So with that being said, are you guys ready to talk about some Deadpool?
Yeah.
Deadpool's coming out. Now, have you guys seen the trailers?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I believe they've dropped one or two, because I went to the movies last weekend, and they definitely played a Deadpool trailer, and it's the X gonna give it to you, that one.
Yeah.
First of all,
such a good trailer.
Great choice. But very dirty, very filthy, a lot of F-bombs, but I realize they're trying to, that's the Deadpool character. So, Brian, you tend to know quite a bit about comics. Why don't you tell us just a brief overview about the Deadpool character?
Yeah, so for those who don't know that are interested in going to see a comic book movie that's coming out in February, Deadpool is a pseudo X-Men. He's part of that universe. He is a mutant. He has cancer, but he also has some regenerating serum, kind of similar to what Wolverine has. He is foul-mouthed. He is always talking. He's always cracking jokes. He's got some swords. He's got some guns, and he will be killing people. So it is not PG-13. It's a hard R, and he will be, in fact, killing many, many people.
Now, Steve, we've had discussions about the X-Men Origins movies before, correct? And if memory serves me correct, you are one of the few supporters of the X-Men Origins Wolverine film, correct?
Oh, I loved that movie.
I'm with you on that one, Steve.
So he's a big fan of
100%.
it. Now, as most people know, Ryan Reynolds plays Deadpool in that one. So let's just talk about briefly... let's talk about that adaptation versus this new adaptation.
Well, that adaptation wasn't necessarily completely accurate. This new one will be, which is what I'm really excited about. That adaptation of quote unquote Deadpool was probably my least favorite thing about that movie, and the thing that just bothered me a little bit. But I'm really excited for this one. I think that they're going to get it right. I think that it's kind of funny that they're giving it to Ryan Reynolds again, but I mean, I guess let's see if he can get it right this time with proper writing.
Yeah.
People were in an uproar and just complaining that he wasn't in his uniform. Like, that was like the big thing. They're just like, what the hell is this guy? I get they didn't like they
gave him swords for arms.
Right. Instead of just swords.
So he was kind of like a Baraka character from a Mortal Kombat but I didn't hate him. But Gerald, I know you've seen the movie as well, but based on what to expect versus what we've already seen, what do you think is going to be different about the character? What's the big leap from why people hated the first one to why they're going to like this one, do you think?
Well, I don't think it was faithful at all in Origins, and I think they're going all the way in with this one. It's going to be completely faithful. He's going to wear the costume throughout most of the movie. And
he has guns in this one.
I think one of the big parts about Deadpool in the comics is he knows he's in a comic, so he's constantly breaking the fourth wall.
Yep.
And I've read that he's going to be doing that in the movie too. So I'm
he's gonna
excited to see that.
Kind of narrate to us.
Now, one of the other things I'm excited about for this Deadpool movie isn't necessarily just about Deadpool, but the fact that we're going to see Colossus in a bigger form.
Yes.
I'm so excited for this.
And he's actually Russian this time around.
I don't.
Yeah, instead of just like a guy they found in a gym. And
Now,
like, you want to be an X-Men?
Explain this to me. First of all, I liked Colossus in the X-Men movies, but
For the 10 seconds.
like I said, I saw trailers over the weekend, and I don't really know too much about like that arc. Why is Colossus in it if the X-Men are in it? Like, is this the same universe as that Sony, or is it completely different?
I mean, like with the X-Men, they're not always together. Like, there's so many that a lot of them are just doing different things. So you can kind of interchange who's around and interacting with Deadpool. So it's not like he's on. I'm pretty sure he's not on an X-Men assignment. So,
But this is a different Colossus from what we've seen in the Sony movies,
Yeah, basically after Days of Future Past, everything's been like what they call a soft reboot.
Got it.
Yes.
So anything's up for grabs.
So they
now.
are related. That's my question for you.
Yeah.
They're related. Okay.
Yep.
Days of Future Past, great movie. Now, here's the thing about Deadpool. They've been doing interesting marketing for it. I've seen him everywhere. I can't not see him. Why don't you guys tell me about some of the cool ones that you've seen, and we can kind of talk about. Is this going to draw more people in, or more people going to go see it that wouldn't necessarily see Deadpool? Because after watching the trailer, I don't really want to see it, to be honest with you.
Really?
I've never been a big Deadpool fan. I just don't have interest in it. I don't really like Ryan Reynolds. I'm very sick of his. I'm the witty guy with comebacks. He played that character in X-Men Origins Wolverine. He's playing it in Deadpool. He played it in the Green Lantern. It's just, can you show me anything else, Ryan Reynolds? Like, I know this is why you're cast to play this part, is because that's how the Deadpool character is, but I'm probably going to kill myself if I have to see Ryan Reynolds in any movie ever again. So with that being said.
No, I think that they're trying to be faithful. Like, Deadpool is a very niche superhero. I think he's popular right now, but he's got a very loyal, kind of small fan base. So it's not an overwhelmingly popular character to mass audiences. Like, you can't sell it to everyone. So I think this movie is trying to introduce him to a wider audience.
And I think it's cool because he's like almost a Catwoman, if you will, of the DC or of the Marvel universe, where he's a villain
Does he have a
at
whip?
times, but he's also a hero. Like, he's one of the true definitions of an anti-hero. And I think that that's what is going to be really exciting about this movie. Now, people who don't really follow the comics and don't really know much about X-Men or the Marvel Universe might not know that, but I think that that is one of the bigger draws for this movie, is that, with Suicide Squad coming out and all these superhero movies, that this is a movie more, down the middle, where it's not another superhero movie. Like, this guy kills people.
Yep.
Very brutally.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is one of the bigger draws to it, is that they're really marketing this in the way that this isn't just another superhero movie. Like, this is Deadpool. Like, he kills people. He's crude. Like, he is an anti-hero.
One last question I want to ask. Who is the villain in this movie? Has that been released?
His name is Ajax.
Okay.
He's kind of like, they're doing him as like being behind the experiment that creates Deadpool into what he is.
But with the marketing, I've seen them kind of integrate a lot of the other Marvel projects. Maybe not like the Disney Marvel, but kind of like the X-Men and everything. I've seen Hugh Jackman get involved. I've seen, just him kind of taking over like posters, and I think that's really interesting. And they're really, like we were mentioning, not everyone's going to want to see this movie. Yep. But I definitely think that's going to suck people's interest in, and it's going to draw them into wanting to see it.
Right.
So kudos to that marketing, because, effective marketing has shown that it can definitely increase revenue, and people are going to want to see your movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a good movie, so I'm very hesitant to see it. But that kind of leads me to an interesting thought. There's something going around, Kyle, our new guest, nerd host, anime expert. There's a big thing in anime right now, correct? Yeah. I should say manga. For those of you who don't know, manga is more, Japanese comics. Is that a fair way to phrase it? You read it from the back to the front. Very odd.
It's more of the geek level of nerd.
Yeah, we'll go over different levels of nerds in just
Very funny.
There's a chart.
But tell me a little bit about the new big thing in manga right now.
So I can't really say new and I can't really say manga, only because this actually started out as a web comic.
Okay.
And so
I apologize for my ignorance.
No. It's I didn't know this either. I got involved with One Punch Man by the hype on the internet, and it was just this year that people were posting, One Punch Man, like nobody can take this guy down, like it's hilarious. It's a comedic approach to, I guess would be a superhero, kind of like Deadpool. And so I started doing some research. I watched the anime, which is only one series right now.
How many episodes are there?
I can't remember. Maybe like 12.
Where are you finding these? Because I want to watch it.
I watch it on gogoanime.tv. You can watch it on
Is that a Power Rangers reference? It has to be a Power Rangers reference, right?
I'm sure it is.
I watched it on Hulu. You can watch
there
it.
you go.
It's
for
probably
free
on. It's
right
probably
now.
on Crunchyroll too.
Yeah, Crunchyroll.
I don't know what any of those things are.
Crunchyroll it's like an anime Netflix basically.
What? Why have you not told me about this before? I have been complaining and bitching to you how I can't find these shows, and you've been withholding this information for months. Who am I surrounded by? I don't even know. Anyway, Kyle, go ahead.
So One Punch Man started out as a webcomic, and an artist, saw the comic, saw like how many hits it was getting online, and he decided he's going to talk to the the creator and see if they can come up with a plan. And they actually started making the mangas, which just flew off the shelves. Like people were. This was 2009 was when the webcomics came out, and I believe it was just within the past couple of years, and the mangas started flying off the shelves. And then just last year is when they started the anime series, and it's ongoing right now.
This is irrelevant, but let me ask you a question, because I don't know too much about One Man Punch or One Punch Man or Fruit
Whatever
by,
it
or
is.
Fruit by the Punch, whatever. I'm just not a punch expert. But my question for you is he bald? Because I feel like I've seen these internet memes that you're talking
He
about.
is bald now.
Okay.
He has a backstory where he wasn't bald.
Kind of like The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
He's a skinnier. The Rock is huge. He's more like, think of like just like
a Jason Bateman.
Yeah, a Jason Bateman that's bald. He's got like a lean physique.
I just feel like anybody could physically dominate Jason Bateman in every way. Anyway,
But this is a
Even
problem
Michael Cera.
throughout the whole anime is that I say anime because that's what I've been watching, but people don't take him seriously as a hero.
okay.
And in this world, there's heroes and then there's villains that just pop up out of nowhere. And there's a hero association where people sign up to become heroes and then they get ranked by like how strong they are.
So it's like tennis.
I don't think it's anything like tennis.
I'm the 14th player in the world.
And so these heroes get ranked, and One Punch Man doesn't get taken seriously. People think that he is taking credit for other people's work, when in actuality he is literally the strongest person in this universe, and only one or two people in this entire world actually see him for like the hero that he is.
So it's kind of where people are judging him based purely on appearance. Is that kind of where it is? So they don't believe that he's this big, magnificent hero because they haven't seen his deeds.
He does everything on the down low. He has like this sarcastic, just nonchalant attitude about everything, and he has an existential crisis throughout the whole series that he can't find an opponent that is strong enough, and he's just bored his entire life.
So, Gerald, building off of that, I know you started watching the anime a little bit. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, not really. I think that really summarized it pretty well.
Okay. Well, does he have any special abilities? Like, does he have like a mega punch move, like a Hitmonchan or something? Like, what is his ability?
In like the last episode, he kind of like goes serious with his power.
Yeah.
But you never really see the scope of his power.
Does he level up like a Super Saiyan? I guess I just don't understand how he's so tough.
So his physical training was 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and running 100 kilometers a mile a day. And that's how he lost all his hair. And he can defeat anybody with one punch.
So my last question for you, because I don't know anything about this guy. I just know that he's bald and he wears a white cape, right? Anyway,
Or red, yeah.
Red, whatever. Anyway, my last question, is this a world where it's literally just humans, or are there people with special abilities?
It's people, the heroes, some heroes have special abilities, whether it's telekinesis or super strength or whatever. And his power, I guess, is just ultimate strength.
Okay.
And he can fly.
Oh, just randomly. Just totally forgot to put that in
Well,
there.
he can.
It's
he
like
can
saying Superman
jump
has.
high.
It's
I
like
think
saying.
he said he can't really fly.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it's just like
It's more of a leap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like saying Superman has laser eyes. Oh, and by the way, he can fly. It's just.
Well, I guess no. I stand corrected though. I guess he can't fly. It's just like he's so strong that he can leap.
So we set up. I don't know if you guys know where I've been going with this, but we're kind of setting up a deathmatch scenario.
Sure.
Going back to Deadpool, going back to One Punch Man, who would win in a fight? Now we've gone over Deadpool's. Just a recap: he's immortal. He has a big mouth. He's an expert swords and marksman. Is that correct?
Correct.
Does he have any other powers?
Can I jump in? Is he actually immortal, or does he just have regeneration?
Regeneration, but at this point, Wolverine has lasted.
Because that's a
long,
very
so.
important point to this
He's
match.
not. He's not. Okay, let's clarify. He is not immortal.
Okay, good.
He has like
he has
extreme
regenerative
regeneration.
ability. Yeah.
So
Very
let's set up the battle. Who would win and why? Let's just go around the round table. Let's see what everybody says.
Team pool.
I would have
Gerald?
to go with Saitama, the One Punch Man.
Kyle?
Obviously, I'm for Saitama, and I have a very specific reason why.
Okay, Steve?
Deadpool, 100%.
I have to go with Deadpool.
100.
I have to go Deadpool again because just think about it. Yeah, he might lose in the short run. You know what I mean? Like One
Sure.
Punch Man might be able to knock his block off, but Deadpool
Pool's coming back.
Oh yeah, like he could taunt him and follow him the remainder of his life, and eventually stab him in the neck with a let's not say a sword,
With a neck, with a knife.
with a knife until dead. Have you ever choked on your own blood? It's not a pleasant experience. But let's just hear, since you guys are, with your guys, I just hit the mic for everybody. This is radio. But for everybody on your One Punch Man, please tell me why he would literally wipe the floor with Deadpool. Why?
There's two villains, Speed Sonic or Sonic Speed, whatever his name is.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
So, picture Sonic the Hedgehog with a sword.
Okay.
Right? The fastest man
I got it.
in this universe, and he just, he can attack you with a sword, and
But he's like the Flash,
kills
but
it.
actually good.
exactly.
Whoa.
He was not. No one was able to take this guy down, and then One Punch Man Saitama got a sneak attack from this Sonic guy, and he, there was a sword that was coming at his face at the speed of light or sound, and he just bit the sword, and it shattered. And so
Must be brushing his teeth at least twice a day.
So if Deadpool's weapons were swords and guns, I really
And
don't.
wit.
Okay, that might do.
Yeah, that might be the key.
So as far as weapons goes, I don't think they're effective against Saitama because of his strength. Either it can't penetrate him, or he just is way too strong and knows how to deal with.
I have a question for X-Men Deadpool. I played Marvel Ultimate Alliance many, many years ago. A lot of my a lot of my Marvel knowledge comes from that game.
Yep.
And I believe Deadpool could teleport in that game.
He has a device he uses to teleport.
So just keep that in mind, everybody. Deadpool can teleport.
Yes.
He also has a
Deadpool had-
magic satchel that he can like pull anything out of too.
Deadpool does?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, man. You're just wrong. So he's going to win.
I don't know how
he has
he
the
would fare.
Hermione Granger effect
Oh,
from the
man.
Deathly Hallows. You can't beat that. If Voldemort couldn't beat it, what makes you think that this guy can beat it?
So I was just addressing weapons. Now let's address his trump card, which is regeneration.
Sure.
You guys say he's immortal because of it,
Yes.
but it's just he's able to regenerate his cells, right?
Correct.
Now, Gerald, you watched the series to the end, so
Yep.
you know of the final boss,
Yep.
which was Lord Boros, and his he turned out to be one of the greatest foes, and his goal in life was the same goal as Saitama, which is to find somebody strong enough to face. And so he traveled the universe looking for Saitama because he heard that he was the strongest guy. And Lord Boros's power is regeneration, just like Deadpool. And he even taunts him with it. You know, you can't defeat me. There's nothing you can do because I can just regenerate. My arm will just grow back. You know what I mean? I don't know how instantaneous Deadpool's is, but his was pretty instantaneous.
Like a Piccolo. We're making a lot of anime references right now. I don't know if you've ever seen Piccolo, but that thing flies out.
I mean, Deadpool came back from being decapitated multiple times. So, I mean, I understand that you can totally beat Deadpool to a pulp, kill him, rip him limb from
Just
limb,
saying,
but he will
persistence.
come back.
Persistence.
Absolutely.
One Punch Man can completely obliterates his opponents
With
one
a punch.
But eventually, Deadpool cells will recreate.
Kind of like and I know a lot of Dragon Ball references coming out, but kind of like in a Cell versus Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, to where he killed him, but he came back until he absolutely. So that's what you're kind of trying to say. He obliterates everything to the point where there's no way this guy can come back. That's your argument?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Because I've seen it, a sort of Deadpool character face
Got it.
Saitama.
Got it. All right. Well, you guys have seen the matchup. I don't really want to go off of our votes of who's going to win because we have 3-2 right now in favor of Deadpool. But why don't you guys check out the Facebook, check out the YouTube channel, just let us know what you guys think. Who would win? Why? If we're dead wrong about a specific thing, let us know. Yep. But we kind of want to hear your feedback. So go on, vote. We'll kind of determine this, maybe touch on it next show. Because I'm interested in learning about more of this Baldy guy. And
It's his nickname.
And is it
Caped Baldy.
Is it? What can I say?
You know what I'm interested in, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
I'm interested in when we're going to give your punishment to you.
Why did you have to bring that up, Steve?
Kevin, you're 0 for 2.
I'm just here trying to run a family show.
Yeah.
And so do you guys kind of want to recap what we've done so far and what I've failed miserably at so far?
Sure. Well, last week we had all of our beautiful girlfriends on here, and we engaged in some nerd trivia.
Yes.
Last month, not last week.
Sorry, guys. I just love this so much. And Kevin's girlfriend,
Kalina.
yes, was unfortunately eliminated first. So Kevin is taking the punishment, and
Let me just stop
go
you
for
right
it.
there.
Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed. I'll do anything on its son. You can't trick me. B, I don't support losing. So you're looking at a newly single Kevin Lewis. And a single Kevin Lewis.
Clayton did such a good job.
And a single Kevin Lewis has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But anyway, I kid. Go ahead.
So for your punishment, we have decided that for the remainder of this episode,
Oh boy.
whenever you decide to have anything to say, you will have to end your statement or comment or question with your affirmation of love for the very famous film Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh God.
We will be playing a game coming up, and we're going to take out this punishment for the game because that will be hard to do. But other than that, every time you say anything, you're going to have to tell us how much you love Guardians of the Galaxy.
So anytime I say anything, I'm just going to have to repeat and say how much I love Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy.
you can mix
because
it up. You
it's a
can say,
great film
yeah.
in a wonderful direction, and it's
Star-Lord
fun,
is great,
and it's
exactly.
great.
Yes.
And, okay, I think I got the hang
I want
of
to
this.
hear it a little bit different though each time.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
like
there's
don't
al-
just say that it's great. Like tell us what about it that you love so much, because you're probably the biggest Guardians fan we know, and we just want to hear more. Of
Well,
that.
Guardians of the Galaxy is possibly the greatest movie ever made.
Agreed.
Right up there with The Godfather.
Yep.
I mean, it's just no competition. It's just absolutely delightful. Dave Bautista, surprisingly awesome. Not as good in the Spectre film, but man,
No.
does he pull off the green paint?
He sure does.
All right, well, I guess with that, let's start our game for this week.
Which
Yes.
I will not lose. And by the way, Zoe Saldana is wonderful.
So for this week, I guess we'll just start explaining the game. It's going to be another trivia type of game. Obviously, this time it's for us. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a competition to see who knows their superhero universes better than everybody else. So Gerald is going to host this week, and he has a list of several superheroes or villains or anti-heroes, if you will, and he'll list off each of these. It'll be kind of a round robin thing. So in round one, we'll start with Brian, and then we'll go to Kevin, then we'll go to Kyle, and then myself. And just go around the room. He'll list the name of a character, and then we will have to name that universe, whether it be Marvel, DC, or neither.
Ooh.
I just have a quick question. Is that what round robin means? Is that we'll go around the room?
Yes.
I had no idea this entire time.
So that's
By
what
the
we'll
way,
do.
Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the best scores ever made. Very original. Actually, that's why it's so great. It's because it's not original. It's actually actual song. So
Right.
good job, Guardians. Good job.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do. We'll do that for 5 rounds. Now, after 5 rounds of all of us being in it, we'll then see who has the most points after those first 5, and the 2 with the highest amount of points will then proceed to the finals. Each correct answer that we get will get 1 point. We cannot pass, so we have to take a guess. If we don't get a point. After 5 rounds, if there is a tie where we need to come up with some sort of a tiebreaker to get to the finals, then whoever is tied will then have to do a game where we'll pick some sort of a topic. Gerald will come up with a topic, for instance, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then we would have to name characters one after the other.
Ooh, that'd be rough.
Based on that until either A, 3 seconds have passed and we can't come up with an answer, we repeat an answer, or we give an incorrect answer. And then at that point, that person would be out.
Just like King's Cup.
Correct.
Yes.
For those non-drinkers out there.
And then the
Like
final
Kings with
final
water.
round will proceed the same. It'll be the final 2 people. We'll go back and forth. Gerald will give a superhero. We have to name Marvel, DC, or neither until we have a final winner. And we'll do at least 5 rounds for that.
Starting now, I don't have to do my punishment, correct? Until
Correct.
after this game, so I can say whatever
Hit
I
us
want.
one more time, and then you can start.
Man, the great thing about Guardians of the Galaxy is just great villains. It's the first time we got to see like Thanos. Like Thanos was just kind of in a few like appearances, and but man, he really, oh man, father-daughter dynamic, great stuff.
Great. All right, your punishment is ended for right now.
Oh, thank goodness, that movie is garbage. Okay, so listen, I'll be honest with you, Steve. I was kind of listening to you. I fully trust you, but did you mention how there's going to be only one winner for this game?
No, that is the thing, is there's only going to be one winner, meaning there won't be one loser. Kevin doesn't have to be the only person to do a punishment next time.
Now, this doesn't mean I won't lose.
Right.
It just means that I'll have company on the loot. But I am 100% confident I will win. I'm unbeatable at absolutely everything. Again, I should have won the Joker competition. I thought that was complete bullshit that I didn't win. But yeah, here we are.
Now, could I delegate my loss to somebody else?
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
But Gerald,
Yes.
do you have the order in your memory of what order we're going in? This is me testing you.
Gerald's fully prepared.
Mark kind of dropped the ball last time with the hosting, so
Well,
there's a reason why he's not here. He's being punished. He was naughty.
Steve said go Brian, Kevin, Kyle, Steve.
This is why we have Gerald on the payroll,
So-
everybody. Okay, so you got that. And
I got it.
you'll be keeping score, right, Brian? So you'll give us an update after every round?
Gerald is keeping.
Gerald
I
will
am
keep
keeping
score.
Gerald, I just didn't want to overwhelm you.
I am not overwhelmed.
All right,
He
let's-
finds your lack of faith disturbing, Kevin.
Gerald is a video producer on the weekdays, so he's got this.
Probably
I can handle it.
Mm.
I'm pretty organized as well.
Let's do this.
All right, let's go.
Ready, guys?
Let's
All right.
hurry up and let me get my win.
All right. So we're going to start with Brian here.
Okay.
All right. First question or character. Dormammu.
Marvel.
That is correct.
Very nice.
1
very
point,
nice.
Brian.
Okay.
Who is that?
I don't know who that is.
It's a Doctor Strange villain.
My confidence level has dropped drastically.
All right, Kevin, you are up. Titanium Man.
Oh, that's obviously DC.
Ooh, that's Marvel.
God damn it. And I say other, not neither, right? Other? Or is it neither?
It doesn't matter.
yeah,
it's
it
the same
doesn't
thing.
Well, how did I lose?
I just want to clarify real quick, if anybody playing at home, these are not mainstream characters. These
Correct.
You're not going to have Batman and Superman in here.
Ah.
Nobody told me this. So, why don't I know the rules for my own show?
All right, Kyle, you're up. Namor the Submariner.
Never heard of it. So
Oh, come
this is
on.
what I've heard. I'm going to taunt you if you get it wrong.
I'm gonna go with DC then.
Oh,
Ooh,
what
it's
a
Marvel.
What a noob. You can tell he's new to the program.
Okay, Steve, your turn.
What we got?
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt. That is 100% Marvel.
That is correct.
Have you only done Marvel? I'm just
I
guessing.
mixed them all up.
I'm
too.
just guessing.
Side note about Black Bolt, he would be a good competition against One Punch Man because all he has to do is say one little bit of a sound, and One Punch Man is done for.
Let's come back to that one.
Okay.
I'm just guessing Marvel every time.
Back to Brian.
Yep.
Lightning Max.
Neither.
That's correct. That is actually from One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Okay, so Kevin.
Give me an easy one.
Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis. Ah, yes. Well, I have to say that Psycho Mantis would be neither.
That's right.
Because that is from the Metal Gear Solid franchise.
Kevin's on the board.
Suck it. Very hard villain to beat when you're a 10-year-old and you don't actually know that the instructions he's giving you literally means to unplug your controller and put it to the second port.
Okay, Kyle. Okay. Dead Man.
Dead Man? Okay. The pressure's on, but I'm going to say DC again.
That's correct.
Wow.
Dead
Just
Man.
remember,
Very
you have,
nice.
a,
Good
you,
pull.
have a 33.3% chance every time.
I do.
So just remember that. For those
33.3 repeating percent, Kevin.
No. We round here.
Yeah, we're not geeks.
We're the rounders.
All right, Steve's turn again.
Hit me.
Metallo.
Metallo.
Oh, come on, Steve.
One Mississippi.
That's DC.
That's correct.
This is stupid. Stop getting it right.
Okay.
Kevin.
This is round 3 now.
Round
Steve is in the
3.
win.
And what's the score update? Brian has 2. Kevin has 0.
I have.
Kevin's got one.
Let's hold on there, Buster.
Brian 2.
Brian.
Kevin 1.
Yep, Kyle 1 and Steve 2.
Wait, are there eliminations after this round?
No, there's
we're gonna-
5 rounds.
Yeah, 5 rounds,
So
then
this
eliminations.
This is still the first round?
Yes. No,
Well, I mean,
This is
the
round 3
Third time around.
Shit.
This is round 3.
Taki mushrooms.
of 5.
Got your back.
Shiitake mushrooms.
Here we go.
Correct.
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Okay, Brian.
Yep.
The Atom.
DC.
That's right.
Wow.
Man.
Very similar to Brian's girlfriend Nicole. He has yet
Talking
to
about
get,
the Atom,
He has yet to get one wrong.
the new DC show,
Legends of Tomorrow
Legends
is a great
of
show,
Tomorrow.
and everyone should watch
Adam
it.
is going to be involved in that. So
Yeah, that's right.
Is it as good as Pinky and the Brain?
It is basically the same show, just retooled for a wider audience.
I think Pinky and the Brain could really be put there with any other mouse themed show.
On that note, Kevin, you're up again. Okay. Jervis Tetch, also known as the Mad Hatter.
DC.
That's right.
Oh, actually, one of
Good pull.
very underrated, and I know Steve hates him, but very underrated Batman villain, if I do say so myself. He thinks he's a Joker ripoff, right, Steve?
I think he is a Joker ripoff.
He is a bit.
I just
At least in the animated
I,
series.
I
but
like
proceed.
him, but he is a Joker ripoff.
I like him better than the Joker.
Who's the Joker?
Oh, just, an overused DC villain that everybody freaking loves, even though he's boring as hell.
See the guy with tattoos on his face?
Yep.
No.
He's the guy with yellow teeth. However, in the original Batman, the animated series, however, when they do the new Batman adventures, whiter than a ghost. So apparently he sees a dentist at some
Shark
point.
eyes.
All right, Kyle, you are up. Dr. Fate.
Oh, yes, Dr. Fate.
Call me
Brings me
Dr.
back
Love.
to the times when I was reading those Marvel comics.
DC.
Nice try. Nice save.
You didn't let me finish, though. And I was reading those Marvel comics.
And I threw them out and got DC.
Exactly. What is this? Where is Dr. Fate?
Okay, Steve.
Point for me.
MODOK.
MODOK. I'm going to say this is a neither.
Ooh.
Yes.
This is Marvel.
Oh,
Mechanized organism
Designed only for killing. That's right.
Yeah,
Gerald.
he's that weird, like, ugly-looking guy in a chair, right?
He's a giant head in
Yeah.
a chair.
He's definitely not.
Oh man.
Definitely M-O-D-K. M-O-D-O-K, right?
Yes.
That's how I pronounced it, because
Yep.
there's periods in beneath, not Modoc.
Yes.
Okay. End of round 3. Brian has 3 points.
I'm in it, everybody. It's
Kevin has 2.
Two-year surprise.
Kyle has 1.
Allegedly.
and Steve also has 2.
Mhm.
All right. So
Brian's gonna
round-
miss this one.
Round 4,
Probably.
Brian. Taskmaster.
I know this one as well.
Neither.
Nope.
Nope, that is Marvel.
I did miss it.
Okay, Kevin.
This is where I come into a commanding lead.
Killer Frost.
That has to be an either.
No, that is DC.
That was my first guess. I'm not even joking. But then you looked at me with those eyes, and then I stopped.
Okay. Kyle. Gorilla Grodd.
Gorilla Grodd.
Now I know this one.
Yeah, that's Marvel.
DC.
He's in Batman, right? I
I
don't know as much
He's
as
a
I
flat.
think.
He's a
He's
Flash,
a Flash
villain.
villain.
I don't
yeah.
know as much as I think I know.
It's a Flash and Justice League villain.
Are there any Harry Potter characters in that
No.
pile?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay, Steve. Deathlock.
Deathlock. Deathlock sounds like a straight Marvel character.
That is a Marvel
Damn it.
character.
Wow.
I thought he was gonna go DC because
I know. I thought he goes. That sounds like a. And I'm like, please say DC.
I thought he was gonna confuse him with Deathstroke.
Okay.
All right, this is the last round.
Yep.
Round 5, and Brian and I are tied.
Yes,
correct?
we are.
At 3. And Kevin has 2, and
So,
Kyle has 1.
is it only? Are we going to eliminate one person, or is it the best 2?
Don't look at me.
The best 2 will go to the finals. So
All right.
if you get this right, you automatically advance.
Oh man.
All right, here we go.
Well, you're out, Kyle.
All right. Brian.
Yep.
The Violator.
Neither.
Neither, that's correct. He is from
Spawn.
Spawn.
Sounds sounds a little rapey.
It does.
He's a clown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played by that guy who was in that one movie.
Exactly.
John Leguizamo.
Yeah. See, this is the second time somebody's been able to get my reference off of that movie.
All right, Kevin. Squirrel Girl.
Neither.
No, that is a Marvel character.
I hate everything about this game. I hate everything about this show.
Time for me to pull ahead.
All right, Kyle. The Monarch.
Oh man, that's Marvel.
No, that is actually a Venture Brothers character.
Oh my god, I knew that one too.
All right, Steve. This is just for your pride right now.
All right,
you can
Steve.
match me.
King Shark.
King Shark. I'll give King Shark as a Marvel.
No, that is DC.
Okay.
baby.
I'm still in the finals.
You are.
Yep.
There's in a rebuttal round. You can't get me in anyway. I don't want to be eliminated. I am the worst loser under the planet. Not under the planet. I should say on the planet.
So
Under-
now, do our scores count for the next round, or are we starting over?
Starting
Brandon's
over,
scores?
right?
Starting fresh.
Great.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So just a quick update. It's Steve and Brian.
Sure is.
I lost. Surprise.
do-
Surprise.
I believe it was Nicole and Allie in the finals. In
Yes,
the other round, right?
it was.
All right.
Well, it's not my fault that Gerald did BS characters. Like,
The superior nerds always proceed, Kevin.
yeah, I didn't know they were going to be these like freaking cousins, mothers, sisters, brothers, superhero freaking characters. I was expecting at least a Solomon Grundy.
So,
I actually did have Solomon Grundy.
Born
in
on a
there,
Monday.
so Brian and I are in the finals.
do it.
We're gonna do another 5 rounds. After 5 rounds, if we happen to be tied,
I hope we're tied.
then we'll do a tiebreaker where Gerald will give some sort of a topic, and then it'll just be back and forth between the two of us naming characters based on the topic until one of us messes up.
Yep.
Start with Brian.
Okay. And I've decided to go with a little bit of trickier characters this time.
What?
I'm ready for it.
Those were the easy ones?
Scandinavian superheroes or something.
All right.
If Great Sandman isn't in here, I quit.
All right, Brian.
Yep.
Garbage Man.
Neither.
Neither. That is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles guy.
Did you know that, though? Like,
What?
did you know, like, where it's from?
I knew it wasn't Marvel or DC. I did not know which one.
Okay.
All right, Steve. Matter Eater Lad.
Matter Eater Lad?
This is a very obscure one.
I'm going to have to say Matter Eater Lad is neither.
That is actually a DC character.
Wow, I did not know that. That was rough.
Steve never guessed neither. I was 0 for 3 with my neither guessing. And it's pronounced neither.
Either or.
All right, Brian.
Yep.
The Hood.
Not the Red Hood.
DC.
Marvel.
Wow.
All right, we got to come back with this one.
All right, Steve. Tigra.
Tigra, DC.
Marvel.
We all suck at this
All
game.
right, this is round 3.
I felt the confidence, though.
Please don't judge our nerdness based off of this one performance.
Here we
Okay,
go. I
this
gotta
is
get this
round
one.
3 now. So
Yep.
Brian's at 1, Steve's at 0. Okay. Brian. Jack-o'-lantern.
Neither.
As a Marvel character. He wears a big pumpkin on his head.
The only one.
All right,
Still
Steve.
tie here.
Yep.
How did you find these? No, let's take a time out. For real. How did you find these characters?
I really went in depth with my research.
Like,
here.
what are you just on, like, Wikipedia? That's Star Wars, isn't it?
Wikipedia.
I just defaultly say Wikipedia now.
Yeah, I was doing some Wikipedia. All right. Snake Eyes, Steve. Snake Eyes.
I know this one.
Snake Eyes.
If you don't get this, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Snake Eyes sounds like a DC character.
No.
He's a G.I. Joe.
G.I.
It's
Joe.
G.I.
How
Joe
dare
character.
you not know who
Yeah,
he's like the
Well,
cool...
I was gonna say it, but then you said I'm gonna be disappointed in you, and DC is more of my forte.
Snake Eyes is cool, though. Played by Ray Parker in the very underrated movie.
It's just Ray Park.
Is it? Sorry.
Don't disrespect Darth Maul like that.
Darth Maul. But anyway, very underrated movie. What's it called?
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
The Rise of Cobra.
Rise of... Very good movie.
I love that.
All right, here we go. Round 4.
Okay, Brian.
Yep.
Stilt Man.
DC.
As Marvel. He's a
man.
Daredevil villain.
Still hanging on.
Yeah, I know. Steve,
All right.
you're in this.
All right. Steve. Beta Ray Bill.
Beta Ray Bill.
I know this one.
I do know this one.
Neither.
It's a Marvel character.
Isn't he shaped like a...
He's Thor. He wears the Thor.
But isn't he like a dog-looking
Yes,
creature?
basically.
Yeah, he's like an
All right.
orange.
So if I
horse
get
guy.
this one, it's over.
Yep. Okay. Here we go. Wonder Man.
Marvel.
That is correct.
No.
How does Marvel get away
Victory
with
dance.
a Wonder Man when there's a Wonder Woman? Like, how is there not like cease and assist letters sent out?
All right. Can you just give me a last one for good measure,
No,
just so I can get some sort of pride and
Sure.
get one right?
Redemption.
Let me pick through here.
give him the easy one. Come on. Hip hop anonymous.
All right. Let me go. I'll go back to the easier part.
We'll go back to the level ones.
I would just like to add that this game was the guest's idea, and he didn't know anything.
Yeah, I know. This was. Kyle did throw this out there. Like, it'd be a good game. And, like,
All right. Here's a good one. He's pretty well known.
all right.
Lobo.
Lobo. I don't even know this one either.
It's the bar that they go to in Rosanna.
I'll take
Lodge.
that.
We'll say
That
Marvel.
is a DC.
DC.
You know what, Brian? I say this for all the nerds. Screw you.
That
you
was a
very much.
low blow.
All right, so end results. We have a winner, Mr. Brian Vandenberg. We have
Thank you very much.
we have a loser, myself, as if anybody had any other speculation to who would lose. Mr. Steve is a loser. Kyle's a loser, but we'll have to figure out. Well, I think we should just punish Mark because
Yep. Mark is.
He didn't show up today. He gets punished.
Mark has a goatee.
So Gerald and I will think of a fitting punishment for you three.
Yes,
lovely gentlemen.
Gerald was excluded as well, but I think at the end of the day, we're all losers.
Gerald, well done on that game. That was fantastic.
Thank you. I had plenty more characters. If you guys want to keep going.
Yeah.
Now, as the host of Boyz to Nerds, I am known to have a few hot takes every once in a while. So we are going to introduce a new segment called You're a Jerk, Kevin Lewis. Now, during this segment, what I'm going to do is tell you all, and you're going to listen. You're not going to talk. You're just going to listen about things that really irritate me. And what I want to talk today about is Batman. I want to talk about how Batman has a no-killing rule. Batman is a cool villain, a cool superhero, but he always has that one rule. And the whole point of Batman is for these villains to kind of mess Batman's psyche. And I think a lot of the Joker's plans resolve about Batman breaking that one rule. And here's what I say to a Batman artist, and I haven't read every version of Batman that's out there. Just break the rule. Just do it. I mean, these guys constantly, they come back and they destroy Gotham City because you won't break your freaking rule, and endless people are murdered every time by the Joker. Let's do Two-Face, who's a big villain. He's more like a robber kind of deal, but the Joker massacres everybody, and it's because Batman won't break his rule. Now,
Sure.
The Dark Knight Returns, very popular form of Batman, Frank Miller, I believe. He does have Batman kind of teeter on that line to where he paralyzes the Joker, but at the end of the day, he still doesn't go through it. So I think the real villain in Gotham City is Batman, because there needs to be a time where he needs to realize that by sacrificing, killing the Joker and breaking his rule, think of how many lives he's going to be making or saving. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know what they have to do to get through this guy. Like, how many Robins do they need to beat to death? Like, come on. It's just, Barbara Gordon's been paralyzed. It's Batman. Stop being a dick. Kill people. Let's go. Why have we not seen this in the media yet? Why? And I'll turn it over to you guys.
Well, my first question is, what's your thoughts about Guardians of the Galaxy?
That was my question as well.
The great thing about Guardians of the Galaxy is that people are not afraid to steal other people's limbs. It's awesome.
Yep.
And that was my only question.
No,
Other than the fact I completely disagree with you, but
I
You're a
do
jerk,
as,
Kevin.
I do as well. You are a jerk, Kevin, and I don't appreciate you bringing down the good name of Batman, the Man of Bats. I don't think he can kill people because then that destroys everything that Batman is.
But it kind of leads into real world topics, though, because we have a lot of similar scenarios around the world based on, and I don't want to get like too deep into like religion and all that kind of stuff, but as the United States, we really kind of say, if we retaliate against these nations that are kind of butchering people, you know, because of their beliefs, are we any better than them? But my question for you is, how does that solve the issue? With Batman just locking these people up, and can I say that Arkham Asylum is the worst establishment in the history of anything? Like, do they even have locks on the doors? These people escape on a daily freaking basis, and I am sick and tired of fake comic book kids and moms and dads getting murdered because of Batman.
Yeah, that prison is similar to the one in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm
And
not a fan of.
and the great thing about Guardians of the Galaxy is just that I just love the color scheme of the spaceship. It's just it's so nice. It's just well done.
If Batman killed all of his villains, then you would have no story. Would Gotham City be safe? Yeah, but would we want to read stories about it? Of course not.
Time out. I don't care about a story. I'm just putting myself in Batman's perspective. Like, I'm in the DC Arkham or whatever it's called, Gotham.
Yep.
Do I want a continuation of a story, or do I just want... Think about that Last Action Hero. Has anybody ever seen that movie where you actually go into the world of a movie? That's what we're doing right now. And our people have suffered enough, Brian. They've suffered.
Are you Batman now or a Gothamite?
I'm Batman. No, but I'm just saying.
Because I'm Batman.
I'm just saying. I want to see a comic book arc where Batman doesn't have rules. He breaks his rules. He kills people. And that way, the police are actually justified with them trying to stop him. And he's more of a, like, vigilante to where it's kind of teetering on the gray area. Like, should we support him or should we not?
Right.
That's my
like
spiel.
Deadpool?
Yeah, that's my spiel about Batman. Maybe if they followed the scripting of Guardians of the Galaxy more, people might have liked the Dark Knight trilogy more, because the Dark Knight trilogy is absolute garbage. So let's go from there. We are nerds. Brian, why don't you tell us some recommendations? Because we're the pinnacle of nerds. We like nerd things. We're going to tell you what's good, what you should be checking out, and why. So with that being said, let's turn it over to Mr. Brian.
Well, number one, building off Batman, what you should be reading in terms of comics right now, you should be reading Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder's Batman. It is the only Batman story that is part of the, or it's not the only one, but it's the main story in the New 52. It is fantastic. It's got new villains, new challenges for Batman to read. Also, going back to what you were talking about, The Dark Knight, you should absolutely be reading Frank Miller's The Dark Knight 3. It is him on pure form, and every Batman fan should read that.
You've liked what you've seen so far?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Just like I liked every moment of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's great. The next one you should definitely be reading is a crossover. It's a Marvel property, but Marvel now owns Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars.
What
so
doesn't Disney own? They
they own
definitely own
everything.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, they absolutely do. The best movie of all time. They have been producing a crossover book between their Darth Vader comic and their Star Wars comic called Vader Down, where Vader is trapped, stranded on a rebel-controlled planet, and all of the rebels are out to get him. And it's 7 issues of him just destroying rebels. So if you like any Darth Vader, that is definitely something you should go to.
I'm going to touch a nerve here.
Yep.
And I love Darth Vader. I love Star Wars. I
Sure.
love it. But does anybody think that Darth Vader is just kind of overrated in every aspect of everything he does?
Not even close.
Kind of like, unlike Guardians of the Galaxy, which is, just a one. Freaking, what's that guy's name with the rippling six-pack? What is his name that was in Jurassic World?
Chris
Star-Lord?
Pratt.
Star-Lord. That guy is just so freaking funny. They need to cast more people like him.
Agreed.
With funny sense of humor and, I don't know, great triceps?
Yeah.
Does he have good triceps? I don't remember.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the last thing you should be reading, I'm going to throw it over to Kyle, who's going to tell us about an awesome book that is fantastic.
Yes, so my recommendation, you should be reading. I know, reading as far as like novels are different than reading comic books, but Ready Player One by Ernest Cline is a high recommendation. It's way in there in the geek or nerddom. I'm not really sure which, if it would be considered geek or nerd. Steve, we can throw it to you later. But so basically, this was published in, I think, 2011. A science fiction novel. It takes place in a dystopian society in the year 2044, and this teenager is what you consider.
No spoilers, because this is in my to-read
Okay.
pile, because I listen to my nerd recommendations, which you should, just like you should listen to the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, again, which is phenomenal.
I'll give you the dust cover summary. And so Wade Watts, he is what you would consider a basement dweller, but in the future. And the whole point of this book is everybody is involved in this massive multiplayer online RPG that takes place in the virtual reality world. So people go to work in this virtual reality world. People go to school in this virtual reality world. The world is just, it's going to, the dumps. And so everyone escapes into this video game. And he is what they call in the book a gunter, which is he dedicates his life to learning like the secrets and to try and finding the Easter eggs hidden inside this game. Because if you find the Easter egg inside the game, then you become the sole owner and proprietor of the company that owns the Oasis, which is virtual reality. So essentially, you would become a millionaire, a billionaire.
Yep.
Here's a difference.
Yes.
Just like there's a difference between Thanos and Apocalypse. I don't know.
And I'm going to finish by saying, it's not only a nerd recommendation because it's about video games, but the creator of this Oasis was a 80s pop culture just kind of extraordinaire.
Yeah.
So
Like a Steve Jobs almost,
Yeah.
but like more prolific.
so he hides things in this game to just kind of like jog your nostalgia.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Very good read.
So definitely make sure you guys check these out. We're going to start introducing a segment every show where we tell you what you should be watching. Now, like I said, we're the experts. We're the nerdy guys. We literally didn't have friends until
we started this podcast.
Until we started this podcast. So make sure you listen. Just like, I have to tell you who I am, just how Star-Lord had to tell that guy, those raiders in the cave, who he was, and he was very disappointed. Now, Gerald, I do have to get something off my chest, though. I'm a little sad. I'm a little bummed. I'm just tired of being teased.
Teased about what, Kevin?
Well, it's just I watch anime, and I enjoy anime, and I feel like we live in a world where anime has a negative connotation, and I don't freaking get it. Why do you think that is?
I think one of the biggest thing is because it's animation. A lot of people, adults don't think or associate animation as being for kids.
It's for babies.
Which blows my mind, because I'm not even making this up to this point. I've been teased numerous times by relatives, family members. Oh, what are you doing? Are you watching a cartoon? You're a kid. Like, you're an adult man.
Yeah.
Apparently, my dad has a southern accent. In my... Go ahead. Guardians rocks.
I think the other I think the other thing would be it's Japanese, and people are just kind of put off by having to watch it. I mean, you don't have to watch it with the subtitles, but
Right.
a lot of them do come out like that, so I think that throws a lot of people off too.
Kyle, why don't you tell me about a time where, have you ever been scrutinized for watching anime? Have you ever felt embarrassed about talking about anime in public?
Oh yeah, I mean it's acceptable for people to watch an animated series on Adult Swim.
Sure.
Because
or Disney Pixar movies.
right.
Yeah.
How many times do you hear people singing "Let It Go" from
True.
Frozen down the street?
Yeah.
But as soon as you mention that you like or watch Japanese version of the same thing, it still has adult themes. It still has relevant things that you can relate to, but just in a different style. Then people look at you like you're a weeaboo, which is
Geek level.
I have been under the impression, and I've always said this, I am a connoisseur of story. That is what I look for when I go to my form of media. Yeah, you can shoot it the way that you want to shoot it, and you can do these really awesome shots of how you shoot things, and they definitely can help tell the story. But if you don't have a solid script and if you don't have a solid idea, then what's the point?
I agree.
And I feel a lot of live action, and I might get people disagreeing on the show, a lot of live action, you have so many limitations to what you can and cannot do, which you don't have when you're doing an animated show. Some of the best television, some of the best movies I watched in the last 2 years, including Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, we'll take that one out for this choice because the raccoon is animated. But anyway, we'll just say that it's been animation. And that's what I've argued numerous times, that Chris Nolan's Batman trilogy is utter garbage because it's not Batman. It's somebody's interpretation of what Batman should be in the real world, but it's not Batman. The best version of Batman that is or ever will exist is Batman the Animated Series. And there's just some things that are not intended to be live action. Now, does that mean Hollywood is going to make them live action? And of course, because it's going to make money, but they're not going to be good.
no.
And, I mean, you can watch some of the classic anime movies. Akira, which I've seen and I love. Huge sci-fi. Everyone says, oh, this movie inspired me. Or have you guys ever seen Ghost in the Shell?
Right.
These are the movies I watched when I was a kid, and they just blew me away because they were just amazing. And I can't get enough of it. And I'm getting more and more into anime and just the depth of the characters, the storytelling, the visuals. Why do you think people read comic books? Do you think it's for the little text bubbles? No, it's for the story and the artwork. That's exactly why people watch anime as well.
One thing to back this up as well that I will support you guys on this is Avatar The Last Airbender is a prime example of this, where that show was so good and the movie was so bad.
I believe it or not, that's one of my favorite animated shows of all time. I liked the movie, so you can say whatever you want about Aang, but I thought it was terrible. But with that being said, since we are kind of the anime connoisseurs, what is anime in your mind? Is it just animated pictures, like an animated show, or does it have to come straight from Japan? What are your thoughts on that, Gerald?
I think it's kind of crossed, over into the West too. So I mean, like Avatar
Or Batman?
Yeah, I mean, you could consider those anime. They're more they have adult themes to them.
There are definitely animated shows that are not for children.
Yeah, and I just think that they're really good shows that can be enjoyed by adults and children. And I think anime itself, like you said, the stories, I think they really do come up with a lot of original ideas, which I really like. You don't see original ideas too much anymore, and I think there's a lot of original content in anime.
Kyle, what are your thoughts?
I gotta agree that you can enjoy certain themes, adult themes in anime, but I have to disagree that you can consider Western animated cartoons as anime. I think of anime as something that comes straight from Japan, which is why watching straight anime with an English sub or English dub, I don't consider that as watching how it's intended. You know what I mean? You have to watch it with the subtitles so you can get the actual the voice actor that they originally got.
Oh, Kyle.
You know what I mean? And even though you have to listen to it in Japanese and read it in English, you're watching this how it was originally intended for the audience. If you start getting English or American actors to take the place of this Japanese straight from Japan show, then you're mixing things up a bit, and it's
I respect your opinions, Kyle. I completely disagree with them. Now, here's the reason why I hate subtitles, and I get what you're saying. There definitely is an appeal to a lot of people to watch a show or a movie in its intended form. I get that, and I definitely feel like you should, say I purchase a Full Metal Alchemist or something like that, and I should watch it in its native Japanese at least once. But I think dubbing not only opens things up to Americans to where we can watch this, it does nothing but good things for anime in itself, because think about it, if they're just making shows for just people in Japan, you know what I mean, that's killing revenue, it's killing your exposure. And anime is huge in America, it really is, and I think there are professional companies out there, Funimation, things like that do great dubs. Now, do they do crappy dubs? Sure, but I think they do a wonderful job, and I prefer watching animes in English dub, because I find that Japanese quality audio is garbage and it's terrible. I own a lot of Dragon Ball Z sets, and to be fair, Dragon Ball Z is an older show.
Yeah.
But when I watch it in its native Japanese, it's just unwatchable to me, because I just don't want to watch it that way. It's just terrible.
Well, if I was new to anime, because I am, I don't watch anime. What should I start with? Like, what should I be watching?
Now, I'm going to turn it over to Gerald. Gerald, why don't you give us a recommendation or two of some good shows you can watch?
Good shows to watch right now. Definitely One Punch Man.
We haven't talked about that at
I
all.
know.
it's relatable.
I know another one that I really enjoyed, and it's a little bit older, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is
killing me,
really,
Gerald.
It's a really good show.
Or Full Metal Alchemist. There are two versions.
Yeah,
One
I haven't watched that one.
One
but,
follows the manga, which is Brotherhood. One
Yeah.
kind of goes on a different path, but it really hits the feels.
You can
Gerald.
watch both of these on Netflix.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I think all of these shows are available on Netflix.
But kind of going back to Brian's question real quick, my first exposure to anime was Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, coming home from school watching Toonami.
Yeah.
And that was, that was dubbed. And I really enjoyed it, and it was my first exposure to anime, and it led me into, I watch it more subbed now. So I think, you could go with dubbed to get yourself in there, and then move up to subbed
Gotcha.
if you feel like it.
Sure.
So I guess if we were going with recommendations, first I'm going to say one that I really enjoy watching, which would be Sword Art Online. And I don't know if that was because I was reading or watching that at the same time I was reading Ready Player One, but it does have to do with virtual reality online multiplayer RPG games. And Sword Art Online is one of those where a whole mass of people are stuck in a game, and if you die in the game, you die in real life, which shouldn't happen.
Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah, basically.
Go ahead.
But a word of warning: if you get sucked into Sword Art Online, you're not going to enjoy the second season, because they just did a total flop.
Is it?
Yeah, and but going off of what Brian was saying, if you were watching anime for the first time, what you should start with, maybe something a little lighter. I started out watching Naruto, which is a very long series. Like, it's still ongoing.
Yeah, some of those shows are 800, 900 It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And so they started, actually showing them on the air in America, dubbed, which every time I watch it, I cringe. But I'm gonna end with this, Kevin. If I wasn't, if I'm just addressing one thing, one of your points for dub versus sub, you have to wait for the dub to be dubbed by American artists, where you can watch the new episode of a subbed series as soon as it comes out in Japan.
I think a lot of the shows that I'm not watching live, if that makes sense, not when it's being aired. I'm waiting until they finish a season before they watch it. But that is definitely something to keep in mind if somebody is looking for every week or so.
Right.
Anime, what shows did I start with? My big one was Dragon Ball Z. That's my bread and butter. I'm a Dragon Ball Z fanatic. I think anybody who knows me in any capacity knows that I love Dragon Ball Z. Now, Dragon Ball, which is technically the prequel to Dragon Ball Z, I think is far superior, very witty, slapstick humor. It's great. I definitely highly recommend that. Cowboy Bebop is probably the best anime ever made. You do not have to be an anime fan to enjoy Cowboy Bebop. It's about a space cowboy bounty hunter, and it's just so stylish. it's led to, I think, a lot of the animation styles that we've seen nowadays, because it's just so, what's the word I want, where people really reference it and it really affects them. It's very...
Trendy?
No, not trendy. Trendy is the worst word you could have... Trendy... God, here we go.
Is it?
It's just...
I think it's a pretty good word, and I think it's almost as good as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy is very trendy. I'll definitely agree with that. But
Yes,
you should check out Cowboy Bebop. Now, if you're looking for something a little more interesting, you should check out... They're definitely on Netflix, but there's this show called Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night, and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. Now, I guess they're based on like a video game to where you can play characters and there's different stories you can do, and depending on your decisions and stuff, you know what I mean, it picks the ending for you. But this is an anime series. To give you a brief synopsis, there's something called a Holy Grail War. This happens every 60 or so years, and the premise of the show, Fate Zero is about the fourth war, Fate Stay Night is about the fifth war. The premise of the show is there are 7 alchemist masters, and they each are given a servant, and through a death battle throughout the city, whoever wins will end up with the cup. And it's awesome. It kind of has that Game of Thrones feel where nobody is safe, so anybody can go at any time. Highly recommend those. One that I'm actually currently watching is Psycho Pass. I think it's really cool. It's awesome. It has a very futuristic Minority Report meets Blade Runner. Definitely check it out. That's all I'm going to say about it. If you like awesome, in-depth,
Sounds good.
I don't want to say dystopian, but things where logic and society is really questioned based on where we've gone as a society, this is definitely the show for you. So we're going to keep up with the animes. Make sure you guys, if you want us to talk about a specific section, just let us know. But Gerald, you've been here for the entire show, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about your reactions of today's show? How did you think it went?
Alex Trebek ain't got nothing on me.
Exactly. That's exactly how we do it here at Boyz to Nerds. Speaking of which, didn't the Suicide trailer drop?
That is going to be the worst movie of all time. Don't go see it. I hate it.
We're officially kicking Brian off the show. It looks freaking awesome. Well, you have been witness to the January 2016 Boyz to Nerds episode. Thank you so much, Kyle, for being here. Hope to have you
Thanks,
back.
Kyle.
Hope to have you back soon. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't think you sucked, depending on what everybody else said. But we'll be back next month.
And tell us what the best movie of all time is, Kevin Lewis.
That would be Guardians of the Galaxy. Greatest film ever made under the sun. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.